Somewhere along the line, sales got a bad rap. Even the language we use in sales, like hook, pitch, script, objection handling technique, all reinforce the stereotype of salespeople being pushy, aggressive, and self-serving. Well, I've been in sales for 30 years, and I've never liked being at the receiving end of a sales pitch, and certainly never wanted my prospects to be at the receiving end of one of those either. Yet I've always been successful. Well, when I went through my coach training, it gave me insights into how human beings are designed. Now, this has nothing to do with psychology. It's simply insights on how we think and act. Then it all came together. After all, sales is simply a conversation between two human beings. It all made complete sense, and I knew immediately I had to share these principles with other entrepreneurs, advisors, and sales reps. The biggest benefits my clients and I find is that our prospects do most of the work for us. The foundation of the coach approach hinges on listening skills. Listening skills that I never knew existed, even after taking numerous sales trainings. One coach approach principle is the difference between listening to and listening for. I'm sure you listen to your prospects and take great notes and can recap what they've said. That type of listening is considered level 1 listening, and that's how most human beings listen. There are, however, 2 other levels of listening, and when you learn about level 3 listening, listening for what's important enough to your prospects that they're committed to taking action on, you'll start to build a whole new roster of questions, curious questions, intentional questions, and those aha moment questions. Questions when your prospects say things like, geez, I never thought about that. This opens up the possibility of making meaningful offers, effective requests, and ultimately promises. If we compare the old model to the coach approach, they do look similar, but they're actually quite opposite in their intention. For example, let's look at meaningful offers. In the old model, they would refer to this as your hook and pitch. Hooks and pitches are designed to convince you to do what I think you need or you should do. On the other hand, a meaningful offer is based on listening for what's important enough to your life that you're committed and willing to take action on. Then when I make an offer that is meaningful to them and is aligned with what they're committed to, they're far more likely to take action. In the old model, I want to get something from you. In the coach approach, my goal is to give of my time, my resources, and my expertise. A perfect example is my nephew Justin and his wife Leslie. Justin and Leslie are optometrists. They were living in Victoria and have now moved to Toronto. When they sold their home in Victoria, they obviously didn't bring their major appliances with them. And when they bought their new home, they went shopping for appliances and were mesmerized by the high-end ones. Based on their body language and their excitement level over the lovely features, their sales rep thought, gee, this must be a slam dunk. And when he put the paperwork in front of them, they looked at each other and said, we're going to have to think about it. Sound familiar? They went out to their car and decided that they would go with the scratch and dent models and put the money that they saved into their children's higher education fund. What the rep didn't know about is that both Justin and Leslie went to a prestigious university in the US and graduated with an enormous debt. They're committed to ensuring their children don't have to go through the same thing. They might need new appliances, but they're committed to helping their children. You have to wonder, how many of your prospects are still thinking about your proposals? And if you had made a different offer, would they have signed? Once you master the coach approach, you'll be surprised how many offers you make, offers that never would have occurred to you before. And we both know that the more offers you make, the more likely that people will accept. Of course, our favorite response to an offer is that they do accept and say yes. However, there are 3 other possible responses to an offer. They can make you a counter offer. If you offer to take someone out for coffee, they may have a counter offer of lunch. Another response is that they commit to commit later. That may look like something like, no, I really can't use that at the moment, but I'll have a need in 2 months. Please contact me then. Many times you'll know if this is a genuine request or just a way to end the conversation, which rolls into our next and least favorite response, the dreaded no. These two little letters, N-O, have such a powerful response in the human brain. We oversimplify things when we just say it's a fear of rejection. 7.2 billion of us interpret the word no as, I've done something wrong here, I've said something wrong, I didn't do what I should have done, I didn't say what I should have said. In other words, there's something wrong here, and that something is me. Just know that you're hardwired to think that. It's simply what the human brain does. And here's the best news of all. It has nothing to do with you. The main thing to remember is that while your brain is only thinking about you and what you said or didn't say or did or didn't do, and plotting and planning what you're going to say next, since your prospects are fully human as well, their brain is busy thinking about their life, what's happening around them, what they want, and unfortunately for you, what they didn't want, what you just offered them. It has nothing to do with you. You may know some experienced sales professionals or advisors or entrepreneurs who have developed what we think is a thick skin, and it looks like they never get discouraged no matter how many no's they hear. In reality, they've developed mastery in that realm, and it was through practice. Anything you want to master requires practice. You don't just walk into a gym, take a couple of group lessons, read a book or two, and get your black belt. It requires time, commitment, and practice. You have to get on the mat and be committed to learning and practicing. Typically, we're thrown into a room for a one-day training, tossed back into our business, and somehow we expect to be masters at the new approaches like overnight. My programs are specifically designed for you to be able to take the principles from the coach approach and shape them to fit your own personal and unique style, rather than trying to shape you to fit into a rigid process. If you're looking for a quick fix, my programs aren't going to be a good fit for you. However, if you are serious about developing mastery in sales, click the link below to find out more about my programs. Don't let the old model of sales stop you from achieving all the success you desire. Until we meet again, create a successful day.